I wondered how a fishing rod is made. Wonder no more as we discover the whole process and try and catch something big on my very own handmade rod.
Good morning.
Hey, pleased to meet you, man.
Alright.
I'd arrived at Harrison Advanced Rods, one of the top names in the UK for custom built tackle. It was here that I'd get a chance to see exactly how a rod is made from the very beginning, and it seemed I'd arrived just in time as a fresh load of materials was being brought onto the factory floor.
Right, well, as you can see, there's about 14, 15 boxes of Toray carbon fibre.
The material used to build fishing rods is incredibly important. Carbon fibre offers strength without being too heavy. However, top quality carbon comes at a cost, and once it arrives at the factory, it's quickly stored in a large walk-in freezer that stops the resin that's impregnated into the carbon from curing too early. Minus 18 in here. It's kept here until it's needed, as once it's brought to room temperature, the race is on, starting with cutting the rolls down to size.
Machine cutting's great if you're doing things in hundreds. We tend to make things in 20s. It's actually cost effective to do these things by hand still. Some of the patterns are really small and intricate, and we think setting up a £100,000 machine to make a small number of those doesn't make sense, so it's all done by hand.
Once cut, the sheets or flags of carbon fibre are then rolled onto long metal poles called mandrels. There's a specific shape of mandrel for each type of rod that the company makes, as the length, thickness and taper greatly affect what kind of fishing the rod can be used for. The carbon is gently warmed and pressed onto the mandrel by hand before a specialised machine utilises pressure to roll and bond the rest of the carbon. Alright. Is that quite a lot of weight?
It is. The pressure is important to make it stick and drive out any air that's in there. Pressure and heat are the two things that make a solid composite.
During this phase, multiple layers of carbon are sometimes wrapped around the same mandrel. This layering helps build strength in specific parts of the rod, and by orienting the fibres at different angles, it can stop the rod from twisting during a big cast. Once this is complete, it's then moved to another machine that applies a special tape that keeps the resin firmly in place whilst curing.
So that will go into an oven relatively quickly at a high temperature.
Okay.
Tip sections we will do overnight at a different temperature to reduce stresses and to help get them as straight as possible.
Inside the oven, a very important chemical change is happening to the soon-to-be fishing rods. The resin that once made the